All right, we're having some technical issues with YouTube. I don't know what's going on. It's annoying.
So hopefully you'll see the little red thing that says we're going live and you'll jump on over from the other one to this one.
I know it's. I hate that, but ain't nothing. I don't know why they wouldn't. We have it set up for live. Nobody's in here, so I know somebody will see this and
Yes.
watch it. But they had us. We were set up for live, and all of a sudden, it said change your camera angle. Well, we tried changing it, and then it just kicked us out, and we had to start over. So I don't know what YouTube is doing, y'all, and I do apologize. It's just frustrating.
Yes, sorry about all the confusion. Let's see.
So, Tara, not sure what happened either. YouTube, we were set to go live, and all of a sudden it said change angle. So we tried changing the camera angle, and then it kicked us out. So
Yes. So thank y'all for jumping over onto this one.
we hit live, and it put us in a whole new live, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm sorry. I feel bad.
Yes.
Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for stopping in.
Yes. Looks like people are starting to find it. So
Who's in here? I can't. There's
Um,
Miss Tara Swift. Good old YouTube. I know it.
Kathleen, Carolyn.
Well, is it fall where y'all are at? Because it ain't fall here yet. It's Kathleen.
Although I'm ready for fall.
Is that Miss Kathleen? Can I see
Yes.
your phone?
It is Miss
I
Kathleen.
know, but which one is it? There's a few. Okay. I have to look at the pictures. If I see multiple Kathleens, I'm like, well, I don't know which one. I get used to the picture. Then sometimes people change it, and that really gets me. I'm like, uh-oh. No, not Huntsville. What about Huntsville?
You had asked, does it feel like fall
Oh,
yet?
yeah, it ain't. Kentucky's hot. It's hot. Tennessee's hot.
It's supposed to cool down this week.
Yes, it's 85 in Tarpon Springs. Is that Florida? Tarpon Springs? Is that Florida, I believe, Miss Kathleen? Hey, Miss Tara. Sorry for all the switching around. That wasn't
Yes.
on us. The first time we went live, we had a similar situation, but that was probably our fault. But this time it was not.
Yes.
12. Hi. See, there's another Miss Karen, too. Then there's Kathleen. There's another Miss Kathleen.
You're
She's not
good
in
at
here.
keeping up with the names.
I memorized the picture. If Miss Tara changes her picture, I'll be lost, Miss Tara. I need the cat there in the picture. How you doing, Miss Karen? Thank you for stopping in. Your last name sounds kind of French, I think, or like I don't know. When I'm in Louisiana, I see some similar last names. A lot of French down there.
Do we want
Doing
to
great. It is.
give people another minute to find us? Then we
Yeah,
can...
we're trying to let more people up to 14, so that's good. I will keep it up for you. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Miss Lazaria's got the big white cat, and that's how I remember it's her. And for some reason, I remember the name because of the cat. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Loved your last investigation video, Miss Kathleen. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was it's been a busy few weeks, but that one we were excited to get out because there's so much there, and that video and kind of goes with the one we're putting out next week. So you'll see that. That's why we didn't put out the Texas video yet. When you guys saw on the live, and I said that was going to be our next video, I had to change it up. We found out one story had more to it, so we wanted to keep that one going.
Yes.
But we definitely have more cold case, more murder type videos. So,
Miss Gloria said hi.
Miss Gloria, how are you, ma'am? Love your videos. You two seem to get amazing responses. Thank you so much. Well, it's been quite the journey for sure.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Josh and Kelly. Good afternoon, Miss Biker Queen, Catholic Biker Queen. I like your name there. That's cool. She's been following us for a little while now.
Yes.
All right.
Well, do we want to jump into it now?
Yeah. So, what did you guys think of the last video? Do you guys kind of like the cold case, kind of unsolved, mysterious type videos?
Mm-hmm. When you say last video, you're referring to Miss Verna, right?
It's Verna, yep. It's Verna. Hey, Karen.
Kathleen said the book is on my wish list, The Dark Highway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's a lot of people like that book. It's a good book, kind of a local book, but it's good.
I was reading a note from the author that when they had taken the picture for the front cover on that, they had waited until like dusk to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they went back and were looking at the photos and they changed the contrast, they had seen a figure of a person in the picture. And that's the one that they use on the cover. So that's actually not somebody who like posed in the picture. They think that they caught Miss Verna when they were taking it.
Yeah, actually, someone wrote a comment. I just saw it yesterday, I believe, and they were saying that they thought it was neat. They were looking into the book, and they would have never known that unless they would have looked into the book. But they saw the picture, and they were asking if we thought that was them. So yeah, I definitely think it could have been Miss Verna. I mean,
because if you think about the time of day, and they were there on the anniversary of her passing, so I feel like it was Miss Verna saying hi.
it seemed like she really appreciates her story being put out there, and it seemed like she was real appreciative that we were out there doing what we were doing. So
Yeah.
I could see her popping up in the shadows.
Yes. They had said, wow. Miss Terry said, I enjoy it, but keep doing the chats with the spirits too, okay? Like, she wants us to keep talking with the spirits too. Like, the resting conversations.
Oh, like at a cemetery?
Yes. So she
Yeah.
still, she
It's kind of
likes
similar
these
though.
too.
Yeah. Kind of similar because you can still do the conversations and you can kind of bring out some of the information that you don't really hear about. So, but yeah, no, we'll definitely keep doing the going to cemeteries and kind of that style. Kind of sprinkle them in. We were just trying to change it up a little bit. YouTube, I guess, they're getting used to the same things, and Dalen's running into the same issues he told us as well. So we're just trying to change some things up a little bit, but nothing drastic is changing.
So we're just focusing on some murders and mysteries with this upcoming fall season and spooky season, as they call it. So
yeah, just trying to change it up.
Something a little different.
Yeah, and change something up, and you guys might see some different types of maybe investigations or conversations over the fall, really. But yeah, over the next few months, you'll probably see a little bit of different in there, but nothing too crazy.
Lazaria said that she was waiting on the other live, but it never popped in, so now she's here. We were saying we were having technical difficulty, so we had to jump onto a new one. So sorry for the confusion.
Yeah, it wouldn't let us. It just kept kicking us out, so we just had to go live and start a new. Which I hate that because then people got notified. Well, some people. YouTube doesn't like sending out notifications because I'll put a notification up 2 days in advance and only 5 people know it was up. So
yeah. Let's see. Furby5 said, hello, Josh and Kelsey. Your weather is still better than the cold and wet of the UK, and that is just our summer.
I know. Yeah, y'all. I remember going to Ireland and it was rainy and wet the whole time. Kind of drizzly the whole time.
Yeah.
I like when it's kind of cloudy, but not rain and cold.
Yeah.
That's miserable. I understand.
Lazaria said, no problem. I told the other 9 still on that live to come here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry. We're not professionals at this, but
No.
I don't believe we did anything wrong this time.
Yeah, we hit the right buttons this time.
We tried to.
Judy said, hi, Josh and Kelsey. Love your videos.
Hey, Judy.
Martha said, hello.
I think Miss Judy, are you new here? I don't think I've seen your name before. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes.
So glad you enjoy it. You might hear your name sometimes in the video. I'm just saying. Kelsey's mom is Judy, and she pops in our videos all the time. So, Spider Queen.
Yeah, Spider Queen said I just kept coming back until she got in for the live.
And Miss Marcia, MZ, I saw that, so I'll know that's you. And Kelsey will quit calling you Marcia now. I'm just saying.
Lazaria said, at least your video on landscape mode versus portrait, which YouTube keeps putting people in. Yeah.
Yeah, and we set it up to be, what is it, horizontal, I guess?
Yeah, which is landscape.
Landscape, yeah.
Yeah.
But then it keeps stopping and wanting it to go the other way, but it's not set up for the other way. It's weird.
Yeah, gets it stuck.
I saw a few people come in. Who all come in? I think Miss Linda come in.
So we have
Courtney. How are you, Courtney?
We have Martha. Oh, I said Martha. Courtney. And MZ. That's
Marcia. Not Marcia.
Marcia.
See, I'm sorry, Miss and you don't even have your name on there. She's still calling you Marcia.
I'm terrible with names, y'all. I'm so sorry.
That's not even on the
I will
screen.
mispronounce them. I will come up with a whole different name that's wrong, and I'm really sorry.
She calls me the wrong name every day, y'all. She calls me 100 names. No, actually, it's funny because someone, so Kelsey and I randomly will call Kelsey just a different. I'll call her Sally all the time. It's just kind of a funny thing we've always done, and I guess one time I did it on a live, and someone messaged me saying, "You called your wife the wrong name." They were mad. She cursed me out and everything, but no, it's just something funny. I don't know.
Yes.
Say, "Come on, Sally, let's go."
Thank you, Spider Queen. She said she loves my shirt. I'm all about fall, and I'm so happy today's the first day of fall. So.
Yes. And it's college football, y'all, if y'all any college football fan. Kelsey and I are big college football fans, so.
Yes. Terry asked, was Verna the one that asked about Kelsey's hands?
No, that was in Texas. That was at the jail, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we thought maybe we could talk about our last few videos. We haven't really talked much about Texas, actually. I don't think we've been on since Texas, besides Cemetery.
Terry asked, pumpkin spice fan? I would say we're both pumpkin spice fans.
Shh, don't tell people that. They'll look at me differently here. Yeah, we like the pumpkin spice. Whatever pumpkin spice is, y'all, I don't think it's a real spice. It's probably multiple spices in the one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like pumpkin spice. You look like...
Lazaria said, I've been called several weird names when I first got my job. Jessica was one and Michelle, but it's not that. Lazaria's not even my name. It's my web name. It starts with an N, though. Mysterious.
Yeah, I'm just going to call you Lazaria forever.
Is that Lorely? Lori?
Laura Long. Hey, Josh and Kelsey. What does it say?
She was just saying hello.
How are you, Miss Laura Lee? I like your name, by the way. That's a nice name, Laura Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And Spider King said in Canada we're all about hockey in the fall.
Hockey, okay. I'll be honest. I'd like to learn more about hockey. People down here, they go to hockey games to watch the fights. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
That's what most of them go, is to watch the fights. So, and they don't fight as much as they used to.
Yes.
But I would do like hockey. I think our closest pro team is Nashville. The Nashville Predators. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fall is not fall in Florida.
No, it's not. You just have to pretend that it is as you run your AC.
Yeah. You got to go towards Atlanta to hit that.
Mm-hmm. Carolyn said, don't worry, Josh. My son discovered pumpkin spice in the USMC and is the biggest fan ever. I had even to send him pumpkin spice Cheerios when I found them. Oh, those are good.
Yeah, that was the situation. I don't eat Cheerios no more because of pumpkin spice Cheerios. They're good. I ain't lying, they're good.
Courtney said, love Virginia in the fall. Oh, I bet that's beautiful.
Virginia's nice in the fall. Especially like, what's that mountain range Mitch and them live in? Shenandoah Valley.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Beautiful. They're also talking about the pumpkin pie with whip is good. And then Miss Tara said there's a lady at our church who makes different loaves. that she gives her and hubby. Zucchini, walnut, and pineapple bread. Sounds
Okay.
good. I like to make pumpkin bread, so I did already make a loaf of that,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. Kelsey used to bake a lot. She used to
Yes.
bake like every weekend with something baked, and I used to work nights, so then I would come home and my breakfast would be whatever she made for dessert. That was the situation. We had to quit making dessert.
Yeah, we had to cut ourselves off.
That was a bad deal. All right, we better quit talking about food.
I know we'll get down a path. So, do y'all want to talk about the Texas investigation first, or Miss Verna? Let us know which one you want to jump into first.
What football teams do we both follow? Well, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a sensitive topic here. Okay, whoever asked that, what teams we follow? I think it was Spider Queen.
Yes.
Our two teams played each other last night. Okay, and it was only a 10-point difference, but a loss is a loss, a win's a win.
Yes.
And yeah, so we're big Oklahoma fans, Sooner fans, and we're also big Tennessee fans. So, it was a sad day though. I'm always Sooners #1, always have been, but I love Tennessee. So.
Yes.
So those two teams.
Dixie Boy asked, y'all got anything set up for Halloween? Do you mean decoration or plans?
Got a lot of traveling plans going on.
Yeah.
We'll be all over the place.
Thank you, Anne. She said she likes my pumpkin earrings.
Oh, I made them myself, Ann. I made them. I'm just kidding. I didn't.
Karen's asking, are you two planning on doing a Halloween spirit box session?
I don't know.
Because Halloween falls on a Thursday, which is our normal scheduled day. So I know we will have a video, but you'll have to wait and see.
Our problem with Halloween, and we don't have children, y'all, but we are busy with children because we're with our friends, and we're kind of, they have kids, so we're kind of the aunt and uncles to
The fun aunt and uncle that
yes,
spoils them.
to all of our friends and their kids. So we might take a kid trick or treating, or we might be over there just at a Halloween party passing out candy. I don't know.
Yes.
So I don't know. That'd be cool too. Now we will be in Savannah around Halloween time, so we'll definitely be filming in Savannah.
Yes.
So I don't know about Halloween night though.
Yes.
That'd be neat though if we could.
Yes. They're wanting to, they all said Texas first, to talk
Texas.
about first, the investigation.
All right. Well, Texas was fun. Children are good to follow at Halloween. Yes.
Yeah, it's fun. What were you saying about Texas?
Texas, it was good. Texas was fun. We actually, you saw the kind of investigation video we did with the group, which to me was one of the most intense investigations I think we've done. And the parts of it. I'm not a big group like with a bunch of people, but whenever we got to separate and do what you guys seen on that video, in that house with the girl Anna, the feeling I felt there and Kelsey felt there was probably the most intense feeling we felt since we've been doing this. Really.
Yes, because we had gone for a group investigation, and the group had split up, so there were some who were downstairs and some that were upstairs. So we all had started in the parlor where that was filmed, and Josh and I were in the back along with Miss Tiffany, who we had mentioned on the video. And while we were sitting back there, we audibly heard somebody talking to us. We felt somebody there. There was a lot of movement. So as the group kind of broke up and went to different areas, we stayed because Anna kept coming through and kept asking for help or kept mentioning things. So we wanted to make sure we didn't leave that area without addressing Anna and seeing if we could help her.
Yeah, as soon as we got in there, it was like, in that room specifically, it was like, it almost felt like somebody was begging you for help. Like if somebody approached you and saying, please help me, that's what it felt like, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And the guy that runs the place was in there talking, and all of a sudden, and again, I don't know, I know some people don't care for was it Spirit Catcher app or whatever. We've never used that. But the lady that was standing next to us had that on her phone, and she started talking about, or the phone started saying Anna, and then it started saying Joseph. And we didn't know anything about them. We didn't hear anything during the tour we did, just showing us around. Well, all of a sudden, that came through, and the guy starts talking about a couple that stayed for a longer time at this hotel,
Yeah.
and the lady was, unfortunately disappeared. He said that people used to hear him screaming and fighting all night, and then one day she disappeared, and that was it. But they said those names, and then he starts talking about that situation. So that was wild. It was wild. She really wanted us to know who she was. So her story, it was intense.
Yeah. And while he was talking about who Anna and Joseph were, while he was giving the history, to the right of me, I kept hearing a lot of growling. So as he would mention Joseph's name, you could hear like growling, just like with your ears, you could hear it. So, and then after the group had kind of got up and left, and we were just left in the parlor, you could still hear moans and different noises coming through.
Yeah, and actually, the way this place was kind of presented to us was very dark, right? Multiple people had been possessed, been taken over there. So is what we were told. That it was possessed. They got possessed. One lady was on the tour, and she frequents there all the time, and she was actually one of them that got possessed. And they had pictures of her and looking all types of ways, and they said you hear a lot of growling and all that, and we heard some growling in the hallway, but never close to us. Some people thought they heard growling on their ears. Kelsey and I didn't ever feel any of that.
Well, I
just heard it.
Yeah, I heard the growling, but we didn't experience any of that intensity.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people did, and there's a lot of dark stories attached to that place. Her story being one of them, and that was one that we didn't even. We heard about the outlaws and the brothels and stuff that was ran in that hotel, but her story we didn't hear about until everything started happening. And
yeah, she was really pushing to come through.
Yeah.
Really like trying hard to get someone's attention.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Any questions?
They're saying that it sounds like that is it demonic, or there was some sort of attachment to that.
Yeah, it was. So. Here's the thing: is they say that there's a portal that happens at night there, and at first I was like, I didn't know, because the guy that was telling us was a guy that visited there a lot, nice guy, but he was saying that he saw a light in the corner of his room, and there was a mirror across from it, and he would see light coming out of this mirror into the top corner of this room, and he felt like it was a portal. And he said all these lights started happening, and that was when his wife got possessed and everything. So I don't know about the portal, but I'll tell you this. That energy and that air in there, it was like, it felt like you were trying to breathe underwater.
Yeah,
it was heavy. But after that Anna situation, and she said all those things in that conversation about freedom and light and all that.
It changed.
It changed.
It was very light in there. You could breathe normal again.
Yeah, it just felt calm. So.
Yeah. They're saying, Karen said, Josh and Kelsey are in tune with the spirits. They have empathy. They have a gift. They are awesome with the spirits.
Thank you.
And then Miss Tara said, referring to Anna, she wanted her story told and to be told correctly.
Yeah.
Which I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really seemed that way.
Because during the conversation, the word blockage kept coming up, and you could definitely feel that Joseph was trying to stop her from telling her story, but we kept letting her know, like, you're safe, come forward, and so she eventually was able to talk and was able to get the help that she needed. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They said, breathing through us, Anna asked, the portal was to hell. They didn't really specify where the portal was to, but I guess one could assume about that, just because there is a lot of dark energy there, even though we didn't encounter that dark.
There was names coming through that we didn't hear. But apparently people have heard Anna and Joseph but it's just frequent. Like it's not in the way that we experienced that day.
Yeah.
They said it seemed different. Like that was the day she decided, hey, I'm gonna risk it all. I'm going making my escape.
Yes.
And we were lucky and blessed enough to be able to witness that. Yeah, it was different though, for sure. Portals are subjective as to where they go.
Okay.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Portals are subjective as to where they go. So meaning like it's not necessarily like one. It wouldn't necessarily have to be hell or one particular place.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it's wild because we've had spirits talk about when we were doing Miss Maud in California. Remember in that conversation, you guys might remember this, but they said something along the lines of we asked about the doorway, and they said it's how we move. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like a portal, kind of seems like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Joanna B.
They're saying hello to Joanna. She
Joanna.
just popped in.
That's Miss Joanna. She's sweet as pie. Always gives us nice comments. Thank you, Miss Joanna, for all your support.
Yes.
Any other questions going
on? No, not yet. So then the second part of the investigation that was at that hotel, we had gone upstairs and we had shown a little bit of when you're in the what would you call it? They called it red room, but with the lighting, it was more like the brothel room is what it looked like.
Yeah, with the poster of the lady I had to blur out.
That room was really active too. There was another room that was really active that was upstairs that we were not able to catch on film. The quality of the film wasn't very good, but they have another room upstairs that's a doll room that's full of, I don't know, I would say thousands of dolls, but that's exaggerating. I mean, there's tons of dolls. Everywhere you turn, there's a doll looking at you. And they had two particular dolls that have the capability of speaking. And so there was some child spirits that came forward that were using the dolls to communicate with. So we did have a conversation with them. And during the investigation, when we weren't in the room, when another group was in there, those dolls did say one of the individuals' names. Yeah,
that doll room, I wish we could have got footage of that. The problem was it was too many people. Everyone wanted to pack in the doll room, so it was very small, very loud. And so I had to leave. It was too claustrophobic. I couldn't film or nothing in there. Kelsey stayed in there though, and I was totally shocked, y'all, because she is terrified of dolls. She don't mess with dolls or clowns. That's something she don't do. But she stayed in there. So
I think it's because I have older brothers who like to torture me with those things when I was younger. So it just created a fear in me.
Oh, I know. Me and Miss Tiffany, we looked at each other and said, "Nope, there's too many people in here. We had to get out."
Yes. Terry had said, "I think everyone thinks spirits are demons now." I would say that is a misconception sometimes people have, is that spirits are automatically dark or evil, but it's not necessarily true.
No, it's kind of one of the reasons why Kelsey and I wanted to start a channel, because we were lucky enough to kind of see more of the peaceful side of things.
Yes.
Well, I mean, most of the spirits, like haunted ghost type things, we've never really had bad encounters.
No.
We've seen some things.
We've seen some things, but we haven't had any negative encounters.
And Kelsey actually saw things from a very demonic, dark country one time in Africa, and those things that if you don't believe in spiritual, that there's good spirits and bad spirits after that, then you just ain't gonna believe it.
Yes.
Yeah, we've seen some dark things, but we've got to experience a lot of peace in the spiritual realm, and it's kind of why we just wanted to come out and do a channel that kind of showed there is more peaceful side of things. It ain't all about ghosts and goblins, y'all.
That's right.
She thinks I need to put that on a t-shirt. Maybe one day I'll put that on a t-shirt.
Joanna said, "Why are dolls so spooky?" I know. especially at nighttime in a dark room.
What about an antique shop? You go up to the flea market or an antique shop, and you see it's always that section, and there's always that little curly redheaded girl with the creepy eyes, and one that's kind of off a little bit. I feel like she looks at me. He's getting tired of it.
Spider Queen asked, "Have you ever left your recorder in a room and played it back?"
Well, yeah, we have.
We have, and we've heard like noises, but we haven't caught any like EVPs. Like
No.
we haven't caught anything that's clear yet. But we have tried it.
And okay, that brings me to.
But I was about to say.
That brings me to y'all. Most of y'all was a part of this. You didn't even know you were a part of this. I didn't even know you were a part of this. But Joanna, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
so kind.
Thank you so much.
Earthquake, Josh, you're shaking.
I'm sorry, it's an earthquake. Our little phone holder moves when I touch it. Gosh, I can't touch it no more. Sorry. But you guys were a part of this, and I didn't know it. And this was the live we did at Cave Hill Cemetery. You guys remember when we first started the live, we were walking up near Colonel Sanders' headstone and all that. Well, I didn't hear it in person, but during that, and remember, we had no spirit box, no devices. It was just us and a phone going live, y'all. And you're gonna hear it, and I'm gonna come out with a video probably this week, and you're gonna hear talking. It's craziest. That might be the craziest EVP type thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Literally talked 3 different times. Talked during where Kelsey and I was talking to y'all actually.
And I think normally, like, we can hear and pick up on those things when it happens. But we were, like, trying to focus on the live and trying to get the camera going that our focus was not there, so we didn't hear it. But I just think it's amazing we caught it on camera because that's the first time we got it on camera. Because a lot of times we'll be somewhere and we'll hear something, but then the mic won't pick it up. So I thought it was neat that this time the mic got it.
Well, here's the wild thing, y'all, is before we started recording or going live, we were talking to we went by and saw Mr. Sanders and his wife, the Colonel. Because you guys know, if you've seen us on Dalen's channel, our first video we ever did for Dalen was Colonel Sanders. We haven't been back since to talk to him, so we just went by to tell him hi. We thanked him for doing that for us, and we were talking about the trees and it turning fall. Well, that was before we went live. After we went live, we're walking, and you can hear him. I would think it would be him at least. Plain as day, say, "Kelsey, climb the tree." We were just talking to him about the trees because he has some big trees around there and the fall and all that. So, yeah, I don't know. But there's some other little responses that you'll hear too.
Yes.
So.
And they are asking that we go back and speak with Mr. Sanders again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then other comments they were talking about. Let me go back
And
up.
thank you again, Miss Joanne. We really appreciate that. You're always so kind.
Miss Ann said some spirits have darker energy. Some seem like they were very nice people. I don't think that spirits are automatically demonic. And then Miss Kathleen had said, jail with got my gun and bring a horse. That was amazing. So when they had said those in Texas.
See, when we told certain people we were going to go to an old jail, some people didn't, they were like, "Oh, you shouldn't do it," and all that. But I'm like, jail, if the spirit's in the jail, you're probably going to encounter those same kind of spirits in a cemetery.
Yeah.
People think that they just stick to where they're at, but I don't think that's always the case.
Lazaria asked, was the story about a slave I remember hearing free during shift? I believe you're referring to Miss Anna when she had said that she's free. Because we were talking about Anna, and then this comment came up. She was not a slave. She was married to Joseph, and they were staying at the hotel. And they had stayed there for a period of time, and they were heard, by hotel staff and other people staying there arguing a lot. And then one night she had disappeared after a major fight.
Yeah, they never found her body. Now, because I did hear, and you guys probably heard this too, was down the river, in a box down the river. Something along those lines about a box being thrown at, no, the ocean is what he said. So I didn't know if maybe they were saying he threw her in a body of water somewhere. nearby, a river or something, possibly.
And then Miss Tara said, my grandmother had a doll that had eyes that looked like they were following you. It creeped me out as a kid. Oh, yes.
My sister had one of them little Cabbage Patch dolls, and that thing used to scare me.
And then Laura Lee said, I think the intention you bring is usually validated. I think that is an excellent point.
Like if you, yeah, how we
Like
approach.
what intention or what approach you have, it makes a big difference about what response that you get. So, and then they had said, oh, Miss Karen said, I had an antique China doll that eyes open and close. The doll creeped me out. My dad got it at Goodwill for me.
No, yeah,
I would be like, thanks, but no thanks, Dad.
yeah. It's going to the bonfire.
Yes.
That sucker.
And then.
Oh, those masks. What about them white masks? Oh, my aunt used to have them on her wall. You know, people put them on their wall.
Oh, yes. They're
They
like
almost
the
look like a Mardi
masquerade.
Gras mask.
Yeah, the masquerade mask.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like porcelain or something.
Yes. Oh, and that's funny because before you brought up masks, they were talking about masks. Karen has a collection of them.
Oh, you do, Miss Karen? I'm sure yours are happy and smiling.
Yes. And then Ann said, my mother was a doll collector and had her own business. She had a lot of antique dolls. They never bothered me. No creepy vibes at all. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah. Dolls didn't bother me except for that Cabbage Patch doll, and I think it's because I used to tease my sister with Chucky, but that doll, I kind of had that Chucky look with the red hair. I don't know, it freaked me out. So, yeah, I think that's why I didn't like it.
Spider Queen's asking, are there battlefields close to you that you could visit or you would want to?
Yeah, we're actually planning on.
Yeah, there's one that we want to go to soon. So
And we're actually trying to plan some private investigation type stuff. So
we can show a little more of that too.
yeah, and Who knows? We're gonna try to do more private investigation. It does get expensive though. It's pricey. So that's why we're just trying to research and see what's the best for us around this area. But we do want to do some in Georgia, some in Florida as well, around Kentucky. So, yeah.
They're saying that they're eagerly awaiting.
All right.
And then they're laughing about your cabbage doll.
Yeah, that sucker's scary. Freaked me out. My sister used to laugh. I guess that's what I got for teasing her with Chucky.
Yeah. That's how my fear started, because my lovely older brothers would tease me about Chucky.
Yeah. That's
and then
funny.
they took one of my American Girl dolls and chopped her hair off to look like Chucky. I know. They were lovely older brothers.
Yeah, knowing your dad, he's probably like, it'll grow back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then anything else with Texas?
No, when we were down there, we hung out with Dalen and Jawan and met some new people, and Kelsey and I filmed some things. So
yeah.
No, Texas was great. I can't wait to go back. We were in Central Texas, so we started in Fredericksburg, which is like a German town in Texas. Kind of a busy, rocking little town, to be honest, in the middle of nowhere, but it's busy.
Yeah.
And we stayed in what was the town we stayed in? That little town? Mason, Texas. So yeah, it was good. Made some new friends. Y'all know I talk to everybody, so we make friends everywhere we go. I try to at least make one new friend.
Yes. And they did ask about how about Savannah, Georgia. So we did mention we're going to be going there. We'll be going to the weekend event for the Ghost Brothers, but then we're also going to go a little early and do some filming and different things for this channel. So
yeah,
it'll be good.
That'll be fun.
They said, Tara said the joys of being the oldest sibling. They had asked any more videos coming from Texas.
Yeah.
Yes. On our live while we were in Texas, we had walked through the cemetery, and we do have a video from there. It's another kind of mystery story. We told you a little bit about it during the live and had showed you her headstone. So That should be coming out soon, within a few weeks.
Yeah,
so
just
y'all look for that one.
It's actually a cold case. It's one of the older cold cases for the state of Texas. So
Yeah.
it's a sad story, though. It is a sad story, but I think there's some peace that came from this, and there was a lot of spirits supporting this girl, which was wild, but also just a lot of spirits wanting their word. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good video.
Yes. And then Miss Ann said, I'm in San Marcos, Texas. It's Central Texas, too.
Yeah. Didn't you just say something about San Marcos, Texas? Or would you
No, somebody in the
chat?
in the other live chat when we were trying to go live had said
Probably
something
Miss
about
Ann.
San Marcos.
Might have been Miss Ann.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's funny. It feel like every place someone names is in Central Texas because Texas is so darn big.
Yes.
We were near San Antonio, or we were staying in Mason. San Antonio was a nice. It was a busy city, but it seemed pretty nice. I haven't spent much time there though.
Yeah. They said, love the cold cases.
Awesome.
Can't wait to see it.
I'm glad y'all like that because it's kind of Kelsey and I. That was one reason we wanted to start a channel was to speak to those that maybe never gonna be able to have their voice out there. So we'll definitely want to do more of that and more murder. I know it sounds. If somebody just came in this live and we're talking about talking to dead people, it'd sound crazy, but do more murder type investigate or stories and just to get people's side of the story. It's kind of I just want to know. I like to know, like, in a way, like, what do they think about everything? Like, do you forgive the person that did that, or what can you tell us that we wouldn't know because we obviously weren't there?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They had said, Miss Ann had said San Antonio's an hour away from me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then...
We had some good Mexican food in San Antonio.
Oh, very good Mexican food.
And we went to the Alamo Cafe, which is, they give you free tortillas. That was good. That was pretty good.
Yes. Linda said, I'm looking forward to the personal cases and the murder cases. They said more murder investigations, not murder.
Yeah, no murders.
Yeah, they don't want murder, it's just the investigations. And then Miss Karen said it would bring them peace to know that their murderer is caught and their story is being told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although a lot of them, I think, I don't know. It depends on how they're attached, right? Because we've talked to some folks and they didn't realize that they were passed, I believe.
Yeah.
So maybe they might not know they died. Because you do hear more of those type of responses with spirits that died, like murder or car wreck or things like that. Sometimes they don't know.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was interesting. We can go back to Texas if anyone else has anything else to say about Texas. But when you were talking about that made me think of Miss Verna. And when we were talking with her,
someone just said like Miss Verna.
Yes, that when we were speaking with her, that the person who's accused of ending her life, that person came through, and at first he was kind of saying no, she took her own life, but then by the end of the video, he kind of had changed his tune and almost sounded a little more remorseful.
Yeah,
as he was coming through.
It did.
Which I thought was very interesting because it seemed like the conversation helped bring some peace not only for Miss Verna but maybe also for him.
Yeah, because I mean, technically, I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because technically, the guy he's not guilty. He wasn't found guilty. Yes, we all have our strong opinions about it, but
yes.
But by law, he wasn't guilty.
No, just accused.
So yeah, that's why someone had commented and asked how come we're saying we're not calling him, saying he did it. Well, it's because I'm not going to call somebody a murderer that's legally, there's no evidence that he murdered her.
Yes.
I might think it, but we can't say it really.
Miss Ann said, I had a good friend who was murdered in 1982. It was a cold case. I wish I could ask her what happened and who did it. So.
Where, and that's in San Marco? San Marco,
yes.
Texas? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Miss Ann, email us. email us. We
Yes.
might be able to help you with that. Maybe,
Yes.
possibly, if that's something you're interested in. Our email, anywheresouth1@gmail.com.
Yes.
So shoot us an email, and we can either come. We plan to come back to Texas, but we could also maybe do something long distance, possibly.
And then Joanna had asked.
Thank you, Miss Tara, for putting that up there on the screen.
Yes. So Miss Karen was the one who had said it would bring them peace to know that their murderer is caught and their story is being told. So then Miss Miss Joanna had said, Karen, don't you think they would already know? So Joanna's asking, like, wouldn't the person who had passed already know about that information? And sometimes they seem to know and sometimes they don't. So it kind of varies from what we've experienced.
Yeah, or maybe they're not allowed to fully just come out and say it, right? Like maybe the powers above, the powers to be, don't allow that.
Yeah.
Because there's some questions we ask and they can't answer. We've had them just tell us that's something they can't answer, or there's rules. They've told us there's rules before, so
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. But yeah, I would think that they would know who murdered them. I mean, they see the last of whatever was going on, so I would think so as well.
Miss Ann clarified that it happened in Syracuse, New York, not in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Miss Tara posted her email for us.
All right, thank you, Miss
And
Tara.
Courtney said she's a wonderful mod, and I do agree.
You're awesome, Tara.
Yes.
You're the best.
And Terry agreed that there are rules when it comes to that about like the communication and what they can say. And then I'm sorry, that comment made me laugh. Thanks for posting it because I thought he said woolen, not one. When you said the email address, they didn't understand your one. When you said anywhere south one,
Oh.
they didn't
Did I
hear.
say it backward or wrong or something?
I don't think you did, but because of your accent, they didn't understand.
Oh, gotcha. I don't have an accent. You got an accent. No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding. Well, when I was a kid, my grandparents had some friends from Minnesota, and then they were siblings. So some lived in high up there, northern Wisconsin, and the others lived in Minnesota, like close to Canada. Well, they used to come down here and visit my grandpa and my grandma. They were all like best friends, and they used to say, tell me I talk funny, and I'd say, no, you talk funny. They'd say like A and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was funny. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about.
And then they were saying that they hope that Miss Anna finds answers for her friend and sorry for the loss.
Yes, Miss Anna.
And
If there's anything we can try to help you with, you got the email.
yes. And then they're saying that maybe also that they can find forgiveness. And then they're talking about accents.
Yeah.
New York, I don't think I can say that right. A New York accent. You know how like New Yorkers say New York?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get us trying to say New York.
And then they're saying, I have a twang in my voice, California accent. And then Lazaria said, I have a 12-year-old accent and a 42-year-old body. And then Miss Sarah said hello.
Miss Sarah, how are you? I think it's the UK Sarah, if I'm not mistaken. There's another Sarah now that comes in, and she's from Texas. But I think this is the UK Sarah.
Yeah.
See, we went early this time, Miss Sarah, so you can see us.
Yes. And then I think we're all caught up. And then Miss Ann just thanked everyone for their kindness.
Oh, that's Spider Queen.
She said people in Seattle apparently sound a lot like Canadians because they're close to British Columbia.
Oh yeah.
I could see that.
Your uncle lived near Seattle. Kind of has that Canadian sound to him.
Yes.
Yeah. That's beautiful. What'd she say?
She said, hello, beautiful people, or hey, beautiful people. Tara said that she has a plain Canadian accent.
A plain Canadian accent? What's a non-plain Canadian accent, Miss Tara? I know. Use the same word. Hey, so Miss Terry, you're in Canada. A question: do you guys have falls like about the same time as our fall? Well, probably not down here, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You talking about more in the southern region?
yeah,
of
or the mid,
Canada?
yeah,
Like
like,
that's closer to like Michigan or Washington.
yeah. Does their season start about the time we start fall? Does that make sense?
She said yes.
Okay, just check out what I'm saying. Right. But yeah, what was it? You said something about our video. They were asking about a video a while ago.
Well, we were talking about Miss Verna and about how it was just interesting how the accused had come through.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that.
Yeah, because it seemed like towards the end of that video, he was like when we said a prayer of peace, it seemed like after that he was calmed down, and it seemed more like he was a little more resentful. Maybe he did admit it, so that was interesting. Unless now you guys understand and know, not all spirits are. It's not might not always be who we're talking to. Could have been someone pretending to be him.
Yes.
But we can only go off what we hear and what we feel, you know. So.
And Miss Lazaria brought up that the brothers came through.
Brothers did come through.
Yes.
And I could, as I'm hearing the responses from the brothers, I can just picture them in person. Like, I don't know, it sounds weird, but I can picture, like, them approaching a man who killed their sister, and, you know, he went to draw, and they took him. I could just picture the scenario in my head.
Yes.
Whenever he come in was talking.
Yes.
Because he was like,
they protected her in this life, and then it seems like they're protecting her in the afterlife too.
Yeah.
So.
Because they showed up quick.
Yes.
Also, Walter showed up. And if you guys notice now, when it's starting to get a little testy, right? When there's a little heavy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some darker comments are made. You notice Walter or Adrian pops in. And I started noticing this first with Walter, but when he would come in, it would change. And Kelsey and I have felt that. Well, we felt like, okay, maybe it's starting to get a little too heavy for us. Walter come in, you hear Walter, and then things are different.
Yes.
And if you look up Walter's name, it means enforcer. It means like a warden, in charge, you know, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
It really does.
It does. And they said Walter love him. Walter is being helpful.
Walter, I feel like Walter and Adrian come in, and sometimes they'll just say, you know, thank you, or everything's good, just to reassure us. It seems that way. Or sometimes they'll even compliment it, like you're doing great. That happened to us when we were in Franklin.
Yes. Lazaria said we got to take notes when each spirit guide comes in and see what their position is, like a soul they help. That would be interesting because they do seem to have different, like, personalities and different ways that they like help, and you can, I don't know, so that would be interesting to see, like, if you did write it down and then just went back and looked at it and kind of saw the pattern, like what would the pattern say?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Hopefully one day we'll get to ask them.
Yes. Sarah said, I've noticed that on your travels the spirits tend to acknowledge you first, Josh, and then gorgeous girl here, which I find so respectful.
Yeah, that does happen a lot, yeah.
And I think part of it is because of the people that we're speaking with from the time period they were in, that was the way that you showed respect. Like, you never spoke to another man's wife first. Like, you always addressed the man first. So I do think it is respectful that they do that, because it kind of shows from their time period, like, you know, that they're still trying to be respectful.
And that's, sometimes you'll see me do the same thing to them. Like, I'll always try to greet the husband. If it's a husband and wife, I just try to be the old-fashioned, kind of the same way, respectful. I am an old soul, so maybe that's why. But
yes.
But yeah.
Terry said he keeps fat-shaming ghosts at bay. Are you talking about Walter or Adrian?
Always men first, then us ladies. Always.
They say, I love Uncle Walter. Spider Queen saying always men first and then us ladies.
Like when you're greeting them? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I was always brought up, too.
Belinda's here. She said, "Hi, Josh and Kelsey. So glad I popped on and found you to be on live."
Oh, thank you.
And Terry did clarify it is Walter she was talking about.
So he fat shamed spirits? Is that what she said?
Yeah, he said he keeps the fat shaming ghost at bay.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
because, okay, yeah, I got you. I got what you're saying now.
Yeah, so then I was just clarifying that she was talking about Walter.
When you said that, I pictured Walter in my head, like, get out of here, fatty, to some spirit. I don't know. Yeah.
Anne said, "I noticed the spirits are always grateful for your presence. They feel uplifted spiritually."
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, we just try to uplift them. I mean, that's basically we just want to make sure they're in peace. I can't imagine like when we see these folks like Miss Maud, right? Committed, took herself out of this world. I got to be careful because when you're alive, you say certain words and they'll kick you off the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Miss Maud in her situation. That she did that to herself, and then I just picture like she was a sad lost young girl. She was a teenager pretty much. I can't imagine like her being there and maybe not knowing she passed or not having peace and just driving by there. I think about that sometimes.
Yes. Linda said, "Josh, we say manual reset." Because you're saying you have to be careful how you say it. She's saying that they say manual reset.
Wait, so if I want to say something, I can just follow it up with manual reset? I get away with it? No. Yeah, you do. You gotta be on your P's and Q's nowadays.
Yes. Miss Sarah said she's got her youngest daughter into watching us now. That's awesome.
Oh, awesome.
And then Spider
Thank
Queen
you for
said,
that.
"We can feel your warmth through the videos." That's very kind.
Well, thank you, Spider Queen.
And then Miss Kathleen asked, "Do y'all think Maud passed over? Like, did she cross over?"
I always wonder that after we leave these places. You hear it though. You hear like unstuck, light, freedom,
stairway.
And I also I think too is just if they do cross over and pass over, maybe they could still their energy's still in these locations. So maybe yes, they're in heaven, but also they have residual energy at these places that they were attached to for so long. Because Kelsey and I actually had if you go back to the St. Augustine video, what was that? Was it last fall, I guess? Last winter? And we had a couple from 1800 tell us that they were in heaven, but they were also speaking with us. That was one of the craziest responses I've ever heard. It was plain as day. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they can kind of go back and forth a little bit. There's George. George and Minnie. How are you, sir?
George said, "Can you find out where your spirit guides are buried and maybe visit?"
Well, we tried with not spirit guides. We tried with Stephen, who is a helper. We didn't get an exact answer, I don't think, but yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest though, George. I don't want to push that envelope too hard, and then they just quit talking to us. I don't know. But that would be neat. I would like to know what they did when they were living. Like, was Mary Ellen? I could picture her being like a teacher. Like she seems like, or Rosemary. They just seem very loving and like you just give them a hug. They give good hugs. Y'all know those. There was always one or two teachers in school that just loved the kids so much. You just give them hugs. That's what it seems like.
Yes. Lazaria said, "I notice when we speak to soldiers, when always hear something connected to shoot or I shot."
With soldiers, yeah. You do hear that. You do.
And then they're all saying hi to George. And then Sarah said, "Was the way I was brought up, but thank you, sweet." Oh, I missed that. And then George is saying hi back to everyone.
George, hope Miss Minnie's doing well.
Laura Lee asked, Terry, your former renter being named Walter is coincidental or not?
That's
It said, Sarah said, isn't it lush that they've started out with Dalen but have your back now too? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Pretty neat.
It's neat. The first time we heard Walter,
Mm-hmm.
we heard it on Dalen's channel, and then all of a sudden we started hearing it all the time,
Yeah.
and that was neat.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wonder, is it the same spirit guides or is it different? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
are they
it's
just
different.
using that name?
Yeah,
I don't know.
because there's only so many words that they can choose from. So.
Yeah. Now there's going to be some interesting responses. I think this next video that's coming out, I think there's going to be some interesting responses.
Yes.
It's
The
a
one this
video
upcoming Thursday.
connected to Miss Verna in a way.
Yes.
I won't say too much, but
Yeah, y'all will have to stay tuned this week and see. So if you enjoyed Miss Verna's story, you'll definitely enjoy this story too.
Walter is a class of spirit guide. Is that what he's
Mm-hmm. Walter is a class of spirit guides.
Yeah, Walter's good.
Mm-hmm.
They're all good. Thank God for all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
What
And,
does your dad tell you, Josh?
Karen said Tiffany hears them also, has same voices regarding the spirit guides. Lazaria said, do you hear a name for the unknown lady from Texas Cemetery? So I'll have to stay tuned
You'll have to
and
stay
find
tuned
out.
for that.
Mhm.
Yep, stay tuned.
We won't spoil that
We
one.
won't spoil it. Yeah.
And then Terry said Walter guides take out the mean-spirited ones. And then Courtney said she can't wait for more content. And then Anne asked, the spirit box is new technology, isn't it? The spirits have to adjust to it as well as ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think any and when they find new equipment, I think it takes them a while.
Yeah.
Like the ones at the
Spring House.
Spring House. That's not a place where people go to investigate paranormal. Like, you know, it's just not one of those places. They go there for weddings and classroom, field trips.
Yeah.
But when we did that, I don't think they've ever seen some of that stuff, like balls and REM pods and all that. So I think they're a little afraid of it. But then you remember the second time, they got a lot more active because they got more used to it.
And Bridget did tell us she had to build some trust with us. So she had appreciated that we had come back and that had helped. And even bringing the equipment back again, they used it a little bit more, but they still were a little bit hesitant. Just, I think, like you had said, because they'd never been exposed to it before.
Yeah.
So, so they're saying, Lazaria said that C-Fans has been getting our spirit guides, but also has a personal one named Alan.
Might kind of be like Steven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Steven came through in Texas. You guys heard that. He was right there and let everybody know he was a helper.
Yes. And then Miss Belinda said, I will never ever miss one of your videos. I can't wait to see it on Thursday.
Who, Miss Linda?
Belinda.
Belinda. Miss Belinda. Hope you're doing well.
And then Sarah said, I've seen them, heard them, feel them, and see them since I was young. Are you referring to spirit guides or just spirits? That's for Miss Sarah. And then Sarah said, really kicked up when I was 18 and my mother passed. So I assume she's referring to spirits, but we'll see what she says.
Probably.
Terry said, I finally got the ghost tube spirit box to work.
Oh, that reminds me. We need to download that, test it out. That's the one that Blake in Canada uses? I think I heard him using it one time. I wanted to try it because I am looking for an accurate, trustworthy spirit box that makes it easier to hear when we're doing lives. Because when we're recording a video, I can go back and focus on the responses and all that, but when it's live, it's hard to decipher, especially if you're not used to hearing it all the time. So I want to find a spirit box app that I can use or maybe even a spirit box, like AM type radio type. You know what I'm talking about? Like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, one that we can do while we do lives, so it makes it easier for y'all to be able to listen along with us. So,
Yeah.
but like, there's some out there. It's just I don't.
Yeah, the voices.
Yeah.
Miss Sarah did clarify spirit, so she's been experiencing them since she was young, and then kicked up when she was 18.
Yeah.
And then they said that we're teasing them because we told them to stay tuned. And then
Stay tuned for what?
about for the Texas video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then Ann said, I've heard the spirits call the REM pods toys. We've heard that too before because of like the lights and noises.
Yeah, they do that. What's funny is when they know that we're filming, they'll mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, they're filming, or
Yeah.
they'll call it a movie or something.
Yeah.
And what's funny is now when we go, you remember the movie star? We said they look like movie stars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we're there, we'll get a response sometime that refers to movie stars. And I think
Yeah.
it's them just saying hi. You know.
Mm-hmm. Their personality
yeah.
coming through. And then Terry said, I was talking to my sister-in-law and she saw a full body apparition in Savannah. That's pretty exciting. Was that recently, Terry?
Oh, it's like our pictures.
Mhm.
We need to. Show
Yeah,
them.
we further back in our channel we have a video that goes through some of our like pictures and different things that we've caught. But that was over a year ago.
Probably 2 years. We'll redo that one.
Yeah, but we'll redo it so then that way y'all can see some of like our older stuff of what we've seen and stuff because we've captured a lot of really neat things in Savannah.
Yeah, and we got a picture of a man in an old theater, which is actually a place we're gonna try to do a private investigation at. But there's an old theater, and the man, he died in the place, and he worked there for years and years and years. And we took a picture, and there was a man in looked like a tie, and like a suit and tie. Well, we asked the people that worked there what they wore, and he told us they wore a tie.
Yeah.
Well, clearly you could see a man in the window.
Yes.
And look just like he's dressed up like they did back then.
Terry said she saw a horse and a rider. She doesn't know how long ago it was.
Wow, that's incredible. I'd love to see something like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like
Mm-mm.
that.
And then George said, my dad passed in 92. Today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. So then a lot of people said happy birthday to him. So happy birthday, George's dad.
Happy birthday, George's dad.
And then Lazaria said CFans also uses an Android device, and he tested an app called The Portal by Paranormal Shadows, UK, and it was interesting. So we'll have to look into that one. And then Kathy asked, do you use anything for protection before your session? Prayers, I believe you do, but like crystals, etc.
No, just cover ourselves in prayer. We always pray before we leave, and when we get there, and after we leave. And of course, we pray with the spirits there. Over the spirits. Uh-oh.
Did you just knock your water over?
I did.
But I know for us that's what works.
Yeah.
And everyone has something different that they do, and that's just what works for us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Sarah said that her husband saw a spirit on his horse go across the street in front of him. Well, that's interesting.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Terry's asking, why are theaters so haunted? I've always wondered this. I've always wondered if theaters are really active just because of the amount of energy that's there. Because when you go and see a show, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of excitement. And I don't know if that like just stays there. I don't know if it's because theater people in general are very passionate, whether they're doing community theater, Broadway, like whenever you meet a theater person, they're always very passionate about what they do. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I've always wondered that. Like, what is it about theaters that always keeps them active?
Yeah, we're passionate. You know, when I did ballet and all the theaters and dances I did, I was passionate about my ballet moves, y'all. That's crazy.
Let's see. And they asked why our lighthouse is so haunted. That's another one I've wondered about. I haven't figured out. I don't have a theory yet for
I don't
that
know.
of why they're haunted.
You think about how many people
it the-
drown.
Is it the water, maybe? Because I know
Energy.
that sometimes they say water can conduct energy, and that can like stir up spirits sometimes. So maybe it's the water.
Could be the energy, and also I mean, a lot of people died in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about that, a lot of people died drowning, and probably even at the lake. I guarantee you, if we went to some random lake, you would get spirits for sure, 100%.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to get a swallow of water. They said. Activities, energy. If you go places with an uplifted mood, it helps so much. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier, just your intention of what you put out is kind of what you get back sometimes. So that's very true. Miss Linda said theaters have the residual energy of the actors and audiences. That would make sense.
I can see that, yeah.
And then
and you think about it though, if you think of the old days, some of those people that worked in the theaters, like that was a time like you got one job and they might have just stuck with that job until they died. You know, that was their life. Was like, oh, I'm running a theater.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. They were saying, Tara was saying, lighthouses could be haunted by shipwrecks, drownings, former keepers, like you were saying. Lots are in lakes. Water is an element, so in energy, so absolutely.
Well, we saw a lot of that when we were in California, and we did the video with the lighthouse and the shipwreck spirits and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one that made me feel like a lot of them didn't know they were gone at that house. Because one spirit said that they guard the hallways.
Yes.
That they're what they say. We're out walking around and they invite you over to eat and stuff or go fishing. When I hear those, I'm like, do they think that they're still living maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It would be interesting if we make it back out to St. George Point, to that area in California, in Northern California. If we ever had the chance to talk to the homeowner of where the lighthouse keeper stayed, just because there was a lot of like energy and activity there, but they were talking about how they do guard the hallways and they watch over the lady there. So it'd be interesting to talk with her and see like what experiences has she had. Like, does she know that, you know, she has these spirits protecting her, or is she like oblivious to it? You know, it'd be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because I know some people don't acknowledge it, but the spirits are still there, you know?
Although I don't think those raccoons would allow you to even approach the house.
No, those raccoons would run us off.
I mean, literally, y'all, them raccoons blocked the road. Like, they're shaking me down for snacks.
Yes.
And I didn't have none for them.
Sarah said, what the sea wants, the sea takes, is what her dad always used to say. My grandfather, he was in the Navy, and he always said that, too.
Her grandfather loved the ocean. Like, he had a big boat. That was in California.
Yeah, in Southern California.
In Southern California, her grandparents lived, and they did his ashes on the coordinates he wanted. He wrote down a coordinates just for them, and all he wanted was five of y'all maybe to go to this coordinates, dump his ashes.
Yeah.
That was his celebration of life right there.
They had said they enjoyed the California video.
I thought that video would do a lot better than it did.
Yeah. Let's see.
But that was a good video, it really was.
And then they said, come to Michigan. We have a couple of big lakes, is what Joanna said. Sarah said, my father was very active here when he passed, but he felt guilt because I found him. I told him it's okay, not your fault. I know it was done on purpose.
What was that about? Like, is there context?
No, that was from Sarah.
It's Sarah. She found her dad later or something? Was she?
Sarah, could you tell us some more context? We just want to understand your comment about your father. And then, let's see. They had said, love the lighthouses. I lived in North Carolina for several years. I visited several. I had a lot of pictures. They're so beautiful.
Oh yeah, I love the lighthouses.
Mm-hmm. Joanna said, in my basement, I can hear the music and party. They turn on lights. It all stops.
Wait, Joanna, at your house, you hear music and there's lights that come on?
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. We're coming to your house, Miss Joanne.
I was waiting for,
Thought you dozed off.
No, I was waiting for Sarah to respond. She had said he had a massive heart attack, and I found that he had passed. Okay, so she was saying
found him
when she found him, and then he had felt guilt because she had found him.
Yeah.
So.
Gosh. Poor fella. So he was more worried about you finding him than he was
Mhm.
probably worried about himself.
Yeah.
So she found him after he passed away.
Mhm.
Gosh, your dad. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's not good. I've unfortunately found bodies that were, it wasn't related, but yeah, that's just not, it's not the best feeling when you do that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It sticks with you.
Um,
Always clear.
They are talking about the shipwreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And then Lazaria said I wasn't a fan of lakes because she couldn't see the bottom, was fear of what lurked below the fish and seaweeds.
Well, real quick, Miss Joanna said she was from Michigan, right? She's up in Michigan.
Mhm.
We have like several people in Michigan that would like for us to come and do some conversations. I would love maybe next spring after
Yeah, we
the
have to wait till
crazy
after
snow
winter.
y'all get. Y'all, it's too cold for us up there, y'all.
Yes.
It's too cold. But yeah, we want to travel more up the north, Michigan, even more northeast as well. I haven't really ever been to the northeast, really, to be honest. So, what's the farthest north you've been? Northeast.
I would say probably New York.
Oh, you went. Oh, yeah, you went to New York.
But I've only
for a
been to
wedding.
New York once, and it was for a wedding. So I feel like I need a redo because a New York wedding is very busy, especially when it's a New York Italian wedding. So I feel like I need a redo, so that way I can experience the city and everything up there.
I'm glad I stayed at home for that. That's when we were living in Florida. At the time.
Yes.
Yeah, I stayed home. I didn't make that one, y'all.
Let's see.
But yeah, I'd like to go up and do more. I got a little bit of family up in that area actually. They moved that way. I ain't seen them in years.
Mm-hmm. How far up north have you gone?
Michigan,
Yeah. Michigan was pretty.
Ohio, northern Ohio, and then Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah. And then people are saying to Miss Sarah, sorry for her loss. And then Sarah was explaining, thank you, that's kind.
We're sending you a air hug, Sarah.
Yes.
All the way from Kentucky.
And she's saying that it's been 32 years for her father.
32 years. Okay.
Yeah. And then Kathy said Michigan has the most lighthouses in the U.S.
Really?
I wouldn't have thought that. That's
Uh-uh.
interesting.
No, we want to go to what's that island?
Mackinac Island?
Mackinac Island. That seems nice.
Yeah, that's definitely closed in the winter.
We were gonna go up there last summer. We didn't make it.
Mm-mm.
Y'all, doing the filming and stuff. I forget. Like, you get so busy when you travel somewhere. You feel like you're mainly just going there to film sometimes. Because filming it takes up a lot of time.
Yes.
Cheers, Josh. Cheers, Sarah. That's my fake drink I got right here. Cheers.
And then we're all caught up on the comments.
Call up on the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did you guys feel on the Miss Verna?
Mm-hmm. Miss Verna.
Did you guys feel that he was there and that he started out pretty aggressive on that conversation? Because right away you started hearing about murder.
Yeah. Do you feel that the accused was there?
Right. Yeah. The accused. Or I said him. I didn't say who did.
Well, no, I was specifying who the him was because
Oh, the accused. Yeah.
because we could have been talking about husband or brothers or So we're referring to.
Miss Linda said yes. Hugs for Sarah. Yes, hugs for Sarah. Here, I'll hug Kelsey in place for you, Sarah. Okay.
But they're saying yes, that they do feel like he was there.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, at the beginning you heard murder. And then
Yeah.
there's multiple. We heard multiple, so.
Yeah.
Or there's others. I don't know if he was talking about that, if there's other people or what. But
They said the accused was definitely there. Tara said, I've seen his gravestone. I haven't been there. Oh, they're talking about something else. I thought they were talking about him. Karen said, yes, I did think he was aggressive and trying to block her from talking.
Mm-hmm.
I know our initial question was, was she murdered or not? And I know that in the video it does leave you to believe it one way, but I'm still curious with all the information that's out there online, and then also taking into account this conversation that we had. What are your thoughts? Do you think that there's still a question of if it was murder or not?
Yeah, because there is a lot of speculation. Well, with every cold case or murder, especially one that's so far, so long ago, there's going to be conspiracies and rumors and everything. But I feel like she really told the truth. Like, if you look up at some of the books, I did link a book, and that's a really good book. It actually seemed a little closer to what happened to her, what we heard the response was.
Yeah.
There's another one where it was in People magazine, an article, and I guess her nephew, or it would have been fifth cousin, I guess, wrote a book about it because he had heard all these rumors about his fifth generation aunt, I guess, fifth great. And he had some theories and some things he had heard that didn't really line up with other research we found, and also what the responses were. And again, we're just going off of what we hear. So
they're saying that they that there's no question that he definitely probably did it, and that he was jealous, did a dumb thing to end her. They're saying that we nailed it as far as the conversation.
okay.
She said if it was a manual reset, she would have had gunpowder residue on her hands and clothes. Yeah. So it definitely does seem like evidence at that time supported it. And then, unfortunately, there was the mistrial, and the second trial never happened. But after that conversation, it does seem like the truth came out.
Yeah. There was rumored that she was shot in the chest too, right?
That's what the autopsy report says.
But then there's also rumors that she was shot in the head.
Yes, but the autopsy states it was in the chest through the heart.
Right, yeah. But I just wonder where sometimes when you can get what autopsy said, then you'll still have other people saying different.
I think part of it is because of the time, because this occurred in 1936, and so then as time has gone on, kind of like when you play the telephone game, as it's like retold or it's rewritten, like little details get added or taken away, and then sometimes that becomes the new truth instead of what the original documents say.
Yeah, definitely. I just saw Miss Shirley. That's our friend. She's in Canada too. Miss Shirley, how are you?
I think Miss Sarah is leaving. She said, my Sunday's done, but enjoy the rest of yours. So that means bye. See you later, Sarah.
Cheers.
Can
you say cheers if you're leaving? Can you use that in the UK?
I believe so.
Like, see you later. Cheers. Ta-ta. At that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then several were agreeing with what Miss Tara had said about the gunpowder residue. And then they're saying angles and those things just don't add up.
No, they don't. No.
Mm-hmm. And then Miss Shirley said that she's good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
And then Sarah also had said, the children you come across break my heart. They should be in peace and rest, not wandering about.
Yeah, I wonder about that a lot. Like, what's the sometimes they'll say things that like they're happy, like
Mm-hmm.
they're they're just living living their new life, like they're
Yeah.
happy. So it is sad though, and you wonder like how does that work? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think someone asked something about the brothers. You missed it.
Let's see.
I think it was Shirley. I didn't fully read it.
Oh, Shirley did. She said, "What happened with the brothers who shot him?" So, the brothers. So, Mr. Henry went on trial. It was a hung jury, and then in the summer of '37, he was awaiting his second trial, and I believe it was in September. But I'll have to double check my notes. But I believe it was September. The three brothers, the night before the second trial was supposed to start, went to Shelbyville where the trial was going to be held. And the three brothers were waiting in a vehicle outside the hotel of where Mr. Henry was staying. And when Mr. Henry arrived back to the hotel, they got out, approached him on the sidewalk, and the three brothers all shot him. There were 7 shots that rung out. The police were there immediately. They surrendered to the police. The three brothers did go on trial about a month later in Shelby County, and the judge listened to testimony and within an hour dismissed the case.
This was self defense.
Yes.
That he tried to pull a gun first is what they told him, and
Mm-hmm.
but you hear in the conversation that they talk about that. They mention that in this conversation, and
Yes.
I believe it was him, the one that got shot, that said he didn't even, what did he say? He didn't even try to talk to me, or I couldn't even get my holster. Something like he didn't have time to get his holster or something.
Yeah, that's what Mr. Henry was saying to the brothers. Like, he didn't even have time to respond. So the brothers didn't even give Henry a chance to say anything. They went there with a mission and completed what their mission was.
Yeah, and then you think about that conversation. You had
Mm-hmm.
the one that was accused of murdering Miss Verna,
Mm-hmm.
Henry. You had Miss Verna, who was a victim.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the brothers who killed possibly the murderer of their sister. So
Mm-hmm.
you had all three of these people, spirits, in one conversation come through, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended peacefully.
Yes.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
That's really wild to me.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious when we edit this next one to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Kathleen said because he was a lieutenant governor that he got off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that it seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, see it though, you wonder though, like, maybe the brothers knew it. They just knew that he was going to walk from this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I could tell you a little more. This coming video, our next video, you'll learn a little bit more. I don't want to give it away, so there's more going on with Mr. Henry. I'll say
Yes.
that. So I'll screw it up if I don't shut up.
Spider Queen said connections do that. It does make you wonder because with the evidence that they had in the first trial that was presented, it's fascinating that it was a hung jury, that there were some who had felt that like there was a chance that she was responsible for the end versus him. And so it does make you wonder, you know, did his status have to do with that? Like, what did his attorney say? Like, that led them to end up with a hung jury,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and he was a politician with a lot of money. He had a lot, and he was a military man. He was, what was he, what was his position?
I think he was originally a colonel, but then when he became governor, his title had changed.
Yeah. So he was also a military man. He was respected around the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Um,
Tara said bribery probably happened.
yeah. But
So.
I just wonder, I don't know.
It's interesting, but I do think it's really neat that, you know, in the beginning there was some, like, I don't want to necessarily say aggression, but, you know, he did come across aggressive, and then there was some, like, trying to hold her back from her speaking, but then by the end, that there was forgiveness, that they were all able to be there in the same space, like
Yeah.
you had said, Miss Verna, the brothers, Henry, like that they were all able to come together at the end.
Yeah.
So,
It seemed that way from what we were hearing, at least.
yes. So they were agreeing with Miss Tara that it was probably hush money
Yeah,
for
probably.
the first trial.
So yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes old justice creeps up on you. It'll get you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just what happened. The brothers knew what was going on. They knew what time it was.
Sarah said she came back.
I can't. You back, Sarah?
Welcome back.
England here. Hi all. Hey, Sarah, you came in, and someone in England came in right at the same time.
Kathleen said, "Refresh, please. Was he at the trial?" So he was at the first trial. So the first trial took place. So she passed in November of 36, and then in the spring of 37 was the first trial, and he was charged with murder. But then there was a hung jury, and so then the case was dismissed. They immediately filed, and there was a second trial, and it was scheduled for September. And they had moved it from Oldham County to Shelby County, so then that way there would be, you know, a new jury available and kind of, you know, new ears to hear the case. And Josh was saying that Oldham County to Shelby County is about 45 minutes, but back then it would have been a greater distance because of dirt roads, not really a direct route, so that would be like moving it across the state back then.
Yeah, it seemed a lot longer for sure.
Yeah, so.
Plus, back then, most of Kentucky was probably just so rural that was probably the main, for this area, it was the main towns, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're saying hello to Wendy.
Hey, Wendy. She's from England.
Mm-hmm.
There's Wendy. Good to see you. Cheers. I don't know if can you use cheers when you greet someone too?
Sarah said, I said cheers geezer since I'm outside London.
Oh. Didn't they said cheers in Ireland a lot, right? Yeah, we'd say cheers.
Yeah,
cheers.
we would hear that in Ireland a lot too.
Yeah.
So, and we are all caught up on the comments.
Yeah, you guys got any questions about any of the videos or anything? So yeah, is anybody going to be in Savannah around Halloween?
Yeah, for the
Ghost Brothers weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You can I think get tickets on Links and Dalen's
Mm-hmm.
thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be in Savannah and do some filming down there, and got some neat things in store for that. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Be fun.
They
Cheers
said-
is fine, Josh. All
Yeah.
right.
Miss Shirley asked, "Do you hear from your mom often, Kelsey?"
Yeah.
I would say pretty.
Every couple videos.
I would
she's
say
in.
every couple of videos. Sometimes like we can maybe like sense that she's there, but we won't necessarily hear her like come through. But we might just hear her name. But it seems like she enjoys coming, and it's usually Adrian that
Yeah.
she travels with. We'll bring her in, and she'll just say hi.
It's so it's so wild, y'all. A lot of times, especially when she first started coming in,
Mm-hmm.
she would come in. You would hear Adrian, and then you would hear her. And one time, if you guys go to this, we did a video in the Smoky Mountains
Mm-hmm.
a year ago when we first started, probably about this time, maybe October, last
Yeah,
October.
it was last October.
She came in and she said, I'm in the tree checking the scene with Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, wow, plain as day.
Yes.
And then after that, we started hearing Adrian and Judy,
Mm-hmm.
Mom, we'd start hearing them together.
Yeah.
So and still to this day, sometimes she'll mention Adrian. So
Mhm.
I don't know if Adrian it's her buddy, or I don't know, but
Yeah.
she comes and hangs out with us.
Yes.
And my dad used to come in. I haven't heard him in a while. The first time I heard him coming in was when we did the what was it the it was the Civil War video.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
Confederate soldier, and Walter came in. So I would hear Walter, and then I'd hear my dad. So I don't know, but that was 8 months ago, 7
Yeah.
months ago.
Some said that they don't fly, so they won't be in Savannah, but have fun. Wish they could go. And then Miss Sarah asked, where's the most peaceful place you visited to talk with the souls?
That's a good question. Miss Sarah asked that.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Sarah, that's a good question.
The most peaceful place. I'm gonna have to think on that for a moment.
Yeah, me too. Peaceful. I'll be honest.
Which
the,
one?
The old plantation in Louisville. I know it's not a cemetery or grave, but where we talked to where the spring house was,
Oh,
minus
yeah.
the snake incident. No, but something about that place is very peaceful.
Yeah,
That's a tough one. The most peaceful.
I know.
Or just sitting on that bench at that cemetery where we go to often, where we pick up trash and all that.
Yeah.
They even call that our bench. They call that Josh and Kelsey. They call it our bench.
Yeah.
It's so wow. That's a peaceful place.
I know.
That's a tough one. I don't
That
know.
is a tough one.
The place that I felt most people would say is the most peaceful would be the Smoky Mountains. I'll be honest with you, that place got me a little bit. There was something. I told Kelsey a little later. It felt like we were safe, but that was the first time that I actually saw somebody, and it felt darker, and it was just glaring through the woods. They never came close, but you could see them coming, and it just felt off. And yeah, it was one that I'm just like, yeah, I don't care to go back there.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
But I'd say a lot of the places that we go to, though, we feel peace, and a lot of them are really beautiful. So it makes it kind of hard to narrow down, like, the most. But I would agree that, like, where we do bench sessions is,
It's pretty peaceful.
yeah.
As long as there's not a lot of visitors.
Yes.
Can I come with you? LOL. Come on, wherever you're going.
Tia said, my dad messes with my electronics, and I tell him to go bug my brother or tell my mom to come and retrieve them. It's funny. Said, Lazaria said, couldn't he be a great grandpa or something? Maybe check your family tree for Adrian. When we were talking about mom and hanging out with Adrian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, but
I don't think we have any.
no. That's what I wonder. That's what gets me wondering. Is this like their actual names, or are they, because those names mean something, they're significant, and I encourage you guys to go look up the meaning of those names, like Walter, Mary Ellen, Rosemary, Adrian. You'll notice that a lot of their meaning it goes along with kind of
Like
the personality that we hear coming through. You know, the caring, loving side, or Walter being more of an enforcer, a protector. Those names are different. I think they mean something.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I just wondered, like, could that be like, say if it was an uncle from 100 years ago, his name was Fred, could he go by Adrian because that's the role that somebody gave him?
Yeah.
If it was God, if it's whoever, I don't know how you become a spirit guy, but maybe they were assigned to that type of role.
Yeah.
Because of who they were when they were living, maybe.
Yes. Miss Kathleen had mentioned talking about peaceful places. The most peaceful places. She had said your backyard with Thomas. And when you mentioned Thomas, that's where
the bench is.
Yeah, that's where the bench is.
That's where Thomas really comes through. We'll hear him shaking the tree, or that's where the footprints, we see footprints kind of often. Especially in the fall time.
Yes. They had said all the videos show beautiful places and souls are so welcoming. And then Miss Sarah had also said the cemeteries there are so well kept. Which I will say, for the most part that they are. Like we still
Yeah.
pick up trash here and there, but for the most part, we haven't found really too many neglected ones.
No, it's either they're kept or they're gone. Like they're just so overgrown and bad. They actually discovered one in Louisville that a lot of people say it feels really dark, and it's more of a recent. So it's called Eastern Cemetery.
Eastern Cemetery. I said that funny. Y'all should look it up. It's right next to Cave Hill Cemetery.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they have discovered that there was a lot of wrong practices there. That they were found to have buried multiple people in graves, so they were reselling the plot to people. So some plots have 4 or 5 people in them.
They're not related.
That are not related, and then some of them are not identified. So they have several unmarked graves there where they've like taken people's money, buried them, but there's like no headstone, but there's like a mass burial there. And that was unkept and mismanaged for years, but more recently, there's been a lot of volunteers in the city that have come together that go out on the weekends and will mow and clean up. And then there's groups that are working to try to identify names of people that were like in those mass graves.
Yeah, some of the churches are taking over the responsibility to try to, do some research and contact. Also, they had an issue with the local Louisville government there where they were stealing. There was all this money that was set aside for cemeteries, right? For unknown burials, for people that are unknown, or for enslaved burials. There's a lot of money that was supposed to go towards these cemetery projects that it was put in other accounts. So I don't know a lot about what happened, so I'm not going to speak on it. But there's just a lot of shady things in Louisville with cemeteries.
Yeah, you can Google the local news and find some articles on that.
Yeah. But once we can go to this Eastern Cemetery, we've thought about trying to volunteer and help clean it up as well. So, but I don't know. We definitely want to go to that cemetery sometime.
Yeah, and I will say if y'all want to try to help, in the month of October, they're doing some like nightly walking tours. And all of that money that they're raising will go toward the cleanup and like restoration of the cemetery. So if you want to like drive into the city, drive into Louisville and visit, that's kind of a easy way to be able to contribute and help, and then also visit the cemetery.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I missed several comments.
C-Fan in the house.
It says,
"Welcome to C-Fan. Good to see you. Hey, buddy, how are you? I just watched your video where there was a funeral going on. I enjoyed that video. That was wild."
So they were saying good night to Miss Wendy, and then to Miss Ann, and then Miss Kathleen said Kevin on the Boring Channel mows for free cemeteries. Traveling now, just email him. Great Christian people. That's awesome that they do that. That they go through and help clean up cemeteries.
I think I've seen them before, actually.
Yeah. And then everyone's saying hi to C-Fans. And I think that's everything. I think we're caught up now.
C-Fan, that was an amazing experience. Oh, I bet it was, man. What are you in Rhode Island? I think someone said. Or are you also in Canada? C-Fan. I know you's up there somewhere up north. Rhode Island would be a fun place to go. But they got a lot of old, beautiful headstones.
Yeah.
Chris, keep up the great work. Yeah, you're doing.
He said
doing
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. All right.
Yeah.
I'd love to go up that way sometime.
In Vermont in the fall.
Yeah, we'll have to come up there, C-Fan. That'd be awesome. Come up there. I always wanted to do like the Vermont, Rhode Island, just drive and check it out. I ain't never been up there.
Yeah. Miss Shirley asked, have you ever gone to an ancestor's grave?
Yeah.
Well, we've been to family members' graves. We've never done any like filming or like official conversation that we've like put online. But as far as like ancestors, like great greats or
Mm-mm.
something like that, no, we haven't
I don't
done.
even know. I wouldn't even know where to go at all.
We could figure it out if you wanted to. It says Crank's accent is hard for us Southerners. Oh,
Sea fan?
see, I read that as Cranks, but she was saying for C fans.
Oh, yeah, it'd be hard for us to get on. He probably thinks the same thing about us. He's
Yeah.
like, these idiots here. Sorry, auto check.
Yeah, I figured that was auto check that changed it.
Yeah, it's a long live. I know we came on early today. We thought we'd go on for a couple hours and go eat supper.
Yeah.
See if you had a new subscriber.
I know both of our bellies are starting to get hungry.
My stomach was just growling.
Your stomach was just growling.
Well, I haven't eaten today. We fasted all day today. Good for me. See, Fed, do you go to multiple like cemeteries and stuff around your area, or do you usually have one massive cemetery that you go to? Found a, was it?
Sarah said, I found my great great Nana just over the wall of the cemetery where my parents and son are. That's pretty neat.
That, wow. You know what we should try to do is try to find an ancestor like that.
Yeah.
I never. That's so weird. I've never really sat and thought about it, but we talked to people from the 1700s,
Yes.
1800s. So what if we talked to somebody that was related, like blood related to us?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Usually good.
He said, I usually go to 3 different ones, but always looking for new ones.
Okay, nice. If you come down south, let us know, because we got some places we'd like to take you.
Yes. Sarah said that her great great Nana, her name was Mercy, and she signed her name with an X. That's
Oh.
interesting. Shirley said, I have one of my American side of the family ancestor trees and found the graves. I bet that was fascinating. When we were in Fredericksburg in Texas, there was a family from Germany that was there visiting that was looking for their ancestors, their family graves.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think did we mention that on the live we did there?
I think we did.
It was a guy, and I knew he wasn't
guy.
from around here, around there, because it was hot and there was massive fire ants everywhere, and the guy's out there in those little flip flops just walking around, and I'm like, buddy, like that's, and there's cactus everywhere.
Yeah.
They didn't stay around long.
Miss Linda said, I want to go to Idaho and see where my great great grandma is buried.
Oh, okay, Idaho. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know I have some old ancestors all around Arkansas,
Mm-hmm.
that area, too.
They were asking what's for dinner, and then I better feed you.
I don't know. I don't know what's for dinner.
I don't know.
Probably go get something today. Sunday's usually our day we eat out, usually.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday.
Lazaria said her grandfather and grandmother are buried a few hours away. She'd love to do a spirit box with them. They are Norwegian, so it'd be nice to hear them. That would be really neat.
Yeah, if you have like a family member from another country,
Yeah.
you didn't know it.
As Sarah said, my paternal grandparents were born in Ireland.
Oh, okay.
And then Miss Tara said, my dad did our Jackson family genealogy back to 1608.
Wow.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Wow.
So that's like back to the beginning
Yeah.
of the country. Terry said, my dad is buried in Brighton Cemetery in Ohio. All my ancestors are there too. I'm going to try to talk to them in October when I go to see my mom. Oh, you'll have to let us know how that goes.
Yeah, Ohio's a place we've driven through there once or twice, but we've never really been to
We've
Ohio.
never really have stopped in Ohio. So.
We have a lot of people though that support us in Ohio.
Mm-hmm. And then Miss Linda was saying, to go back further than that, Grandma, I need to go to Denmark. Oh, that would
Denmark,
be
wow.
a neat trip.
Yeah, I have a lot of family in Ireland, Irish. around like we saw a lot of that. The Sutton's family and all that stuff.
Yeah. Rosaria said other family members have been cremated.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I feel like even if they are cremated and then their ashes are spread, that you can still make contact, maybe like through a place that they've been to, or you can still like make those connections with them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, think about it. We've talked to your mom, and we weren't in her headstone.
Yeah.
I think you could probably talk to anybody most anywhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they seem to travel.
We've talked to people that passed away in one spot, or that lived in one spot, and that their headstone was in a different. And it's the same. You can talk to them like that.
Yeah.
Dalen did that too with the mobster guy.
Yes.
He was killed in an alley. He talked to him in the alley, and he also talked to him at his headstone. So I think it's just wherever their energy is, you could do, or just actually probably just speak out and put your intent out there, because we did that with the lady overseas, Miss Mary.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Let's see. Tara said, my family fought on both sides of the Revolutionary War. Either way, we could say we were on the winning side. Terry said, Ohio feels like home to me, even if I have not been there because my ancestors are from there. And then Spider Queen said, we tracked my husband's family to NZ and found out his ancestors were one of the first British ships to arrive in North Island. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble getting my words out. Let's see. And then Lazaria is saying the grandparents both passed away in their bedroom 20 years apart. Now my aunt lives there. We haven't visited the home since 2020 when Grandma passed.
Wow, I bet. Yeah, that's a place. That's someone had talked to, sent him a message a few months ago about them having at their house. They had family members there, and they wanted to know if we could come and speak to them. I think it was in Alabama, but I never heard from the lady again. So I told her we would definitely do that. But
yeah.
we didn't hear anything back. So, ma'am, if you're listening, we will definitely come to your house and speak to your loved one. But you got to email us.
Yes.
Because I think it's almost 5. So.
Yeah. So I think we might be getting close to wrapping it up. But we can answer any other questions before we go.
Yeah. You guys enjoy these lives, just talking about videos and stuff? And we are going to go back and see the big monuments at the, what's that cemetery?
Oh, Cave Hill Cemetery. We'll go through. We literally walked maybe a block and a half, and that took an hour. So we have a lot to go back and show y'all. So we'll do some more walkthroughs through there.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Miss Courtney. We sure appreciate you. Miss Linda, I do enjoy these lives. Well, thank you. And we enjoy you being here, Miss Linda. All right, well, I guess we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up. It doesn't seem like there's...
Thank you, Tara. Oh, yeah, Tara's the best. Let's get a round of applause for Tara.
Yes.
Golf clap. She's the law around here, you know?
She said she loves reading the feedback and hearing our feedback, too.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
We just try to do our best, and especially with these stories that have a lot of information. We do research, and we do the best we can. Sometimes, you know, we just go off what we find. So what we feel's the truth, you know, speaking the truth.
Yes.
Like when you hear all these different stories about someone who was murdered in the 30s.
Yeah.
We like to kind of go and figure it out ourselves, too.
Yeah.
Talk to them if we can. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. You got anything?
No, I don't. Well, I just want to say thank y'all for coming on, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. So we'll see you Thursday night. And tell everybody you know, if they like this type of content, send them our way.
Yes.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a blessed weekend.
Bye.
Oh, let me get out of here.